Hi, my name is Ramesh, and in this video I want to talk about the crash of AirAsia Flight QZ8501 and why the pilots did not send a Mayday call message to the ground control. Mayday voice call repeated 3 times through the radio communication signals that there is a life-threatening emergency. A cockpit is equipped with a transmitter, a transponder, a radio and other communication equipment to maintain contact with the ground controller throughout the duration of the flight. Air traffic controllers can contact the pilots anytime and pilots can contact the air traffic controllers anytime during the flight. If aircraft faces danger, there are 2 ways of notifying the ground control. One is by making a Mayday voice call through VHF radio and the other is by sending code 7700 through the transponder. Pilots can send out a distress signal to the ground control within just 5 seconds. But there was no distress call received from flight QZ8501. Why? What kept the pilots so busy that they could not find 5 seconds to send out a distress call? This means that the pilots found themselves overwhelmed by the magnitude of whatever happened to the flight. From the news reports and media briefings by the Indonesian officials, flight QZ8501 climbed at an alarming rate of 6,000 feet per minute, whereas the normal rate of climb is between 1,000 feet and 2,000 feet per minute. Pilots are very experienced and they know very well that climbing at 6,000 feet per minute is too dangerous and beyond the capacity of Airbus A320 airplane. But why did they climb with such a steep angle of attack? Why did the pilots climb with such a steep angle of attack? There must be 3 reasons for this. 1. Bad weather triggered some major problem which must have disturbed the control of the flight while the airplane was passing through dense cumulonimbus clouds. Pilots must have taken a quick decision to climb fast to a higher level to steer clear of those clouds. Pilots must be desperately trying to stabilize the aircraft. It was certain that thunderstorm clouds triggered something and chain of events followed in quick succession that led to this disaster. Pilots contacted the ground controllers too late for route change. When they did not get approval from ATC to climb to 38,000 feet, they continued their flight and must have encountered suddenly, within few seconds, a very bad thunderstorm and powerful air current swirling up with high speeds, and they started climbing up to avoid this. But the powerful updraft warm air currents must have pushed the plane upwards with such a steep rate of climb, and the aircraft experienced upset and stalled. Pilots might not be aware why the plane was climbing at such a speed. Number 3. Due to dense cumulonimbus clouds, humidity, icing must have formed on the sensors fixed to the skin of the plane and giving the pilots wrong readings and compelling them to take wrong actions. This must have switched on alarms and alerts. That was the reason why there was no response from pilots when ATC contacted them to inform about route diversion. Airplane was facing a serious and dangerous situation with so many alarms sounding in the cockpit, all going off at the same time and within a very short period of time. Flight QZ8501 departed Surabaya at 5:36 am and travelled nearly 30 minutes without an incident, without much problem. Pilots knew that the weather ahead was going to be nasty, but thought they can pass through with some hard turbulence. Few minutes before they called ATC, they must have sensed that they are going to thunderstorm zone ahead and expected some trouble. That is why they called ATC and requested for climbing to a higher altitude, but the request was routine for air traffic controllers and they took 2 minutes before giving their approval. At 6:12 am, when pilots contacted the ATC, they never sensed a drastic problem within few seconds and so did not declare emergency to divert. If airplane faces severe problem due to any reason and the safety of airplane is in danger, pilots can contact ATC, declare emergency, inform about route change and divert the flight as per their requirements. In the event of an emergency, pilots have the ultimate authority to change course without approval from ATC but must inform the ground control. captain can take control of the plane and co-pilot can constantly communicate with air traffic controllers. ATC will then immediately alert the other aircraft flying nearby and instruct them to avoid the airplane facing emergency, but this did not happen. The pilots faced a situation which was causing significant disturbance to the control of the flight due to severe thunderstorm clouds in bad weather. Instruments must have iced up and giving wrong readings to the pilots. The problem arose very suddenly, and so the pilots had no time for a distress call. If the angle of attack or pitch angle is below 15 degrees, then the aircraft climbs smoothly. If the pitch angle is too steep and greater than 20 degrees, it climbs up fast for few seconds depending on the wind speed and direction of the wind at that time, and then the airspeed starts dropping. Lot of alarms will come alive warning the pilots about the impending danger. If the airspeed reaches close to 10 knots above the stall speed, the stall alarm warning will be on and warn the pilots with voice call warning also. Since the airplane was at an altitude of over 33,000 feet at that time, it was possible to stabilize the aircraft from stall by following stall recovery procedure. If the airplane continued to climb ignoring the alarms and warnings due to any reason, then aircraft stalls and starts falling from the sky. If the airplane starts falling down vertically due to its weight after stall, pilots cannot do anything except watching the plane going down. If the pilots have to control the plane, air must pass over the wings, and that will happen when plane travels in forward direction, generating lift due to difference in air pressure. Only then the pilots have a chance to stabilize the aircraft. If the pitch angle is too steep and greater than 20 degrees, it climbs up fast for a few seconds depending on the wind speed and direction of the wind at that time, and then the airspeed starts dropping. Things might have gone wrong in a span of 3 minutes and 20 seconds. According to the National Transportation Safety Committee investigating the crash, from its cruising altitude of 32,000 feet, the plane was veering to the left and wobbling before climbing to 37,400 feet with a steep ascent. The plane was climbing too fast at the cost of airspeed and then stalled. Ice was a major factor in this crash. Bad weather triggered a situation for the pilots. Chain of events and actions followed and culminated with a stall, and the plane crashed into Java Sea. The reason why the pilots did not declare emergency and did not send any Mayday voice call message was because sending a distress call was their least priority at that time, and they were completely concentrating on desperately trying to stabilize the aircraft. With so many alarms going off, wrong readings due to icing, they were overwhelmed. Until the plane stalled, they might not have sensed what exactly was happening around them. They must have faced danger to the airplane, and their first and most important priority was to attend to the problems and gain full control of the plane. Without warning, something happened to the control of the plane that was cruising at 32,000 feet, and thereafter pilots faced multiple problems through alarms and warnings and were completely focusing to steer the airplane from those problems. With so many alerts blazing in the cockpit, instruments indicating that something was terribly wrong, pilots were trying to figure out what was happening to the airplane. They were caught in a sudden situation and had no time to even think about sending any message to the ATC. This was the reason why they did not send any distress call. Click the links below to watch my other videos on AirAsia Flight QZ8501. Video what went wrong and how to prevent bad weather related crashes, and the trailer for that video, and then video what are the 7 most possible causes or reasons for bad weather related crashes. Thank you for watching my videos.